Customer platform, it's time to start the day. Discover all the value you already own. Don't let solutions slip away. Wake up, customer platform. The tools are at your hand. No need to sleep on capabilities that can help your business stand. The answer's right before your eyes. You just need to realize. Wake up, customer platform, and watch your business rise. Wake up, wake up. The platform's waiting for you. Wake up, wake up. See what your system can do.
Good morning, HubSpot Nation. It is time to wake up, customer platform, with your unofficial HubSpot Updates morning show, where we help you discover the platform value you already own. I'm Chris Carolan, joined by my co-hosts Casey Hawkins and George B. Thomas. We are here every weekday morning to make sure you're not sleeping on HubSpot's true capabilities. If you're joining live, drop a hello in the comments and let us know what you're building in HubSpot today. Happy Thursday, May 22nd.
Happy Thursday. Can I tell you something? This morning, I'm listening to the intro and I'm envisioning somebody driving to work, and they turn on this podcast because they can now go to their favorite podcast app and they can listen as they're driving to work. And I imagine that intro coming on and they're just headbanging, bro. They're like, somebody's looking over and they're like singing it at the top of their lungs and they're headbanging and they're excited because they can learn about HubSpot on their way to work or their way home or their way to their favorite restaurant. I don't know where you're headed, but like, I just imagine them jamming to that new intro.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it for sure. Sleeper hit. It's going to be.
Yep.
It really does get stuck in my head. It's more.
It does. It's, wake up. You're like, yeah, let's go. I'm ready.
Like, I was walking the dogs this morning and I'm like humming it. And I actually turned to my husband and I was like, have I told you that Chris made a song?
That's
it begins. A worldwide conquest begins right here. A light day. We always find a way to make the most of it, though. 3 updates to run through. We've seen 2 of them before, and get to dig a little bit deeper on the third one. So we'll start with redesigned CRM index pages. High impact. I don't know if it was high impact last time we read it, but just came up earlier this week. All right. What is it? We're improving the index page experience to make it simpler and more intuitive for you to get the most out of its functionality. Check out this Loom for a full walkthrough.
Why does it matter? The redesigned index page brings together a streamlined UI and new visualization types, enabling users to more easily visualize, manage, and action on their data in HubSpot.
nice.
All right.
I'll moving on.
Video chapter editing.
This is interesting. I mean,
Mhm.
it was there, so what happened? But okay.
Oh, they've been updating a couple different things. What is it? You can now manually customize AI-generated video chapters for content uploaded to YouTube or embedded on your websites.
I like this. Why does it matter? It's short.
Right.
Users can manually add or revise chapters generated using AI.
Which, by the way, that has nothing to do with why it matters.
It
That's
does.
again saying what it is. Why it
Sometimes
matters is because you need to pay attention to user experience. You need to realize that everybody's busy. And if they want to jump to 1 minute and 14 seconds just to hear the conclusion because you're an idiot, then they can't. By the way, I'm using the example of the screenshot that is a very short video. I don't know why you would chapter a 1 minute and 14. But here's the thing. If you're putting out long form content and you haven't historically been chaptering it for your website because it wasn't possible with HubSpot video before this, or YouTube, come on. That's why it matters. I'm busy. I want to get into the good stuff and get back to work. There, can they write that on the why does it matter and then bring it back over so Casey has to read all of that next time?
Take the transcript from the recording.
I'm saying.
Yeah. But in order to use any of this stuff, you've got to enroll in the AI-powered video marketing beta. If you haven't yet, do it. It's amazing. Not just some bolt-on where it's like, oh, you can just trim and that's about it, like we see in other systems.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fully baked out video editing at the end of this process, I believe. And we already have the ability to update chapters. It's where clipping is happening. The transcripts are really good. The summaries that they come up with, keywords, just
the amount of
yes
moments that I had as I went through it was ridiculous. By the way, I said this last time that we brought this up, but if you haven't gone and watched the unboxing that Chris did with the HubSpot team, like that's a great place to start. And what's nice is if you have dual screens, put the unboxing on one screen, get signed into the beta and put the beta on the other side and mess around it as you're watching the unboxing. Oh man. Yeah. I'm just saying.
We're trying to make it easy for the folks to keep up, George. That's all we can do.
We're trying.
Yep. So definitely jump in if you haven't yet. It's a big reason why the podcast is happening now, honestly. The process is just so easy. I can't possibly make any more excuses for not turning this into a podcast. So
facts.
Thank you, HubSpot.
I think they did it just for us.
Yeah, just for Chris.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, you know what Chris needs in his life? He needs a podcast tool. Hey, let's spend some R&D money. Couple mil. Get Chris that podcast.
Wait, he's not using it yet. Oh, I think we need to spend money on a video marketing platform.
There you go. There you go.
It's not using
it. It worked. Success. It worked. Check that KPI off.
Good job, team. You got Chris.
10 out of 10 is my MPS or whichever score you want to apply.
Yeah, that was the right score.
And this is really like, this stays for me, I guess. AI-powered data model recommendations.
Every day is for you, Chris.
we just
Thank
need
you.
Orders. Like if today had an orders update, like then this would be Chris's day. Hands down.
What is this? We're developing AI-powered data model recommendations to simplify HubSpot setup and deepen usage. We will utilize information that we have about your business to generate a tailored set of easily applied configurations.
This matters because manually configuring HubSpot can be time-consuming and overwhelming, especially for new admins. AI-powered templates will allow us to meet needs of HubSpot's broad customer base and build upon industry-specific templates released last year. The personalized content will allow you to get your HubSpot account up and running quickly and efficiently.
Nice. Oh, there's a short video that you can watch too.
I think we should watch it. Because it's super interesting to think about like the difference between new like setup and somebody that's already using HubSpot and trying to transition, from this world.
Are you saying using or already jacked up their HubSpot?
All the above.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, in people's defense, voice of the people, sometimes HubSpot is jacked up because these features didn't exist.
True. True. See, that's what I love. Casey Hawkins, advocate of the humans since 2024 or whatever year we're in. Yeah.
There we go.
Whatever year we're in.
For sure. So we're gonna check out this video. Maybe get rid of that. Hit the plus here.
Hi there, I'm Maggie from HubSpot's product team, and I'm here to
Hi,
welcome
Maggie.
you to a new feature where you can use AI to get data model recommendations. For the purpose of this demo, I'm going to imagine that I run a landscaping company. I'm eager to get started setting up my HubSpot portal. So right now I'm on the data model part of data management, which you can get to by clicking on this sidebar. And I noticed that there's this box in the upper right hand corner that says define data model with templates. All right, I see that we have a couple of options down here for real estate and education. Neither of those make sense for my business, so I'm going to get started with Breeze. All right, it seems like Breeze pulls in some information about my business, and then it gives me a prompt to add some additional context about how I'm using HubSpot. I'm going to go ahead and add some information to make sure I get the best recommendation.
Can you pause
I'm running a landscaping company. I want to.
So, as you watch this video, first of all, we need to let them know they're on the show. By the way, I'm just gonna throw that up. But yeah, Maggie, they're on the show. When you get to this point, if you're doing this, please, by all that is holy, think rich and robust when you do the example section for what you're trying to get in the outcome. I go back to everything we teach on the AI show and that I'm talking to clients about. Context is king. When it says enter information, context. Okay, you can hit play. Sorry.
That's I wanted to say something similar to where any of the AI tools in HubSpot, the first question is going to be either how do you use HubSpot or how do you want to use HubSpot? And if you just say lead management, you're not going to get good results. Okay. So it's like, what is HubSpot supposed to do for your business? And that might be the first time that you're having to document that in that moment. And I bet you anything, if you have a hard time answering that, you can just pull up Breeze or go over to GPT or Claude and have that conversation. But have it before you start building and getting recommendations from AI that doesn't have enough context to give you good ones.
I'm going to track my prospective customers and their lawn care needs. I also want to keep track of my customers' requested service. So that's generally why I'm using HubSpot. I'm going to go ahead and see what kind of recommendation I get back. Okay, interesting. It's generating my data model. Looks like it's getting some recommendations. Eager to learn what comes out of this. All right, just like that, I now have an AI-powered recommendation. It says to make sure to review Breeze's recommendations before saving. It says a data model for landscaping companies to track their prospective customers, lawn needs, and requested services. Awesome, that's exactly what I was looking for. Okay, cool. It seems like there's information about the services object, including service notes, the expected completion date, start date, and returning service. Okay. I don't think service notes makes the most sense, so I'm going to remove that. And then we use the term repeat service instead of recurring. So I'm going to update that language just in line here. Or it's cool that I can see that if I hover next to any one of these properties, it helps me understand what the purpose of that property is. Now I see association labels, and so here it's between the service and contacts. And it seems like on this side, it's the requested service. On this side, it's requested by. That makes sense to me. Let me see a little more information. Okay, it says connects a customer to the requested service. That makes a ton of sense to make sure I can understand all the relationships within HubSpot. Now I also see some information under contacts. So I guess I could, okay. So if I do this, it'll allow me to deselect or select all of the recommendations under contacts. I'm going to keep it because some of this seems really good. Here we have lawn size.
Chris? Like, as you're driving down the road or you're watching this in your office or wherever you're at, I hope you realize, because here's what comes to my mind: the amount of hours of meetings now not needed, the amount of typing and clicking that may not be needed by these like automagical additions into your data model because you took the time to add the dope context, like giving people's lives back to them with the use of AI inside of HubSpot. Okay, I just had to throw that in there. Like, this is where my brain is
And
at.
this is like an extra 15 minutes, right? Versus where we were, like, we just want to get started. We just want to get into HubSpot and start using it. If you take just 15 minutes, and this is where we're going to move on from the, open up HubSpot and the question of, is this your first time using a CRM? Do you know what CRMs? Are you a CRM super user? That doesn't actually help build out the HubSpot. It's going to be all, what is your business? What are you trying to accomplish? What are your goals? Right.
Well, and even the layer of what kind of humans or how do you help the humans with the business that you have? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Preferred service frequency. I can see there's some options. I'm going to hover over that. Awesome. This makes sense to me. Weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. Budget range. Looks like I got some options there as well. And then service type. I'm just going to update this a little bit to be budget because I think range, I don't know. Anyway, it's there for me to update, and that's pretty cool. I think this is now just the inverse of what I was looking for from contact to services. And I can see that there's also a label here between contacts and deals of decision maker. All right, it feels like it is good to go. I'm going to just hit next. All right, here's my summary of changes. So some information for contacts, deals, and services. We are really excited for you all to test this out.
We are excited.
I've been afraid of custom objects. I'm getting more comfortable with them.
Really?
I still have hesitation whenever someone tells me they want a custom object. I try to think through.
Let's work through that. Let's unpack that.
There's a 12-step process for that, I feel like. Wow. I'm actually really surprised right now. I mean, I used to be. Don't get me wrong. I was in your shoes, Casey, when it was like you had to go to this page and it was like a bunch of boxes and you didn't know the magic that was happening behind it. But like they've made it like so easy now.
So what's your initial concern? What is your hesitation when somebody says, I need a custom object?
She's like, oh crap.
Why did I say these words on a light day? Why didn't I wait till we had 30 updates and then?
Well, I asked because I'm sure.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is that like I am very comfortable in HubSpot. I still am nervous around custom objects. If you are new to HubSpot, then those are even more, well, they're either more intimidating or, make it easy breezier because, but I'm glad this change, I think, will help more people be able to adapt good custom objects. That's
or not any, like, because we've got a services object now, which is not a custom object. I think where I expect this is coming from, which is definitely very different from inside the HubSpot ecosystem versus out, where there's lots of other CRMs that just come with custom objects, and you can build whatever object model you want. You can name them however you want, but we know that creates a lot of messes and makes it harder to support the overall user base. But what I expect is like when we work with the quote unquote standard objects, they have superpowers built in, and we know what those superpowers are, like contact, company, deals, tickets. And we know that the HubSpot functionality can be fully unlocked with those objects. We don't know that all the time when we go over to custom objects or object library or the Commerce Hub objects. And in fact, most times it doesn't unlock. Like there's some things here and there, there's not full parity, right? They're working very hard towards it, but I think that's fair. And that's why it comes back to like, what are you trying to accomplish? What does a data model need to look like to support the business, right? So that would be my recommendation to that hesitation. Just get super clear on what the need is like behind that ask.
Yeah. And like, I think that, I mean, the reason for my hesitation is that like, I think sometimes people hear about custom objects and are just like, yeah, make a custom object for this. And like, I'm still hesitant on whether a custom object is always the right solution.
Yeah. You got to be careful, but not afraid. There's a difference between afraid and careful.
Right.
And I guess like, custom objects haven't been around for long enough for this to be an actualized fear, but my fear is to go into a portal that has 1,000 custom objects and figuring out what all of them mean and how they're connected. And like, I think that's my fear, but
Been there.
That's a
done that. Have the t-shirt. By the way, I can fix that fear. That fear is fixed by one word: questions.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Mr. Whoever you are, or Mrs. Whoever you are. What is the purpose of this object? What are the most important 10 to 12 properties that this object holds? How do these objects associate or correlate to the process in which you are trying to do inside of your business? In other words, you have to unravel the data modeling that probably happened layer after layer after layer after fix. But once you ask those questions and you understand it, it's not scary.
Yeah. And I think I'm hearing a little bit about like the shift that admins are having to make right now overall, right? Before this complexity was added to HubSpot, the expectation was that you could go in, audit without talking to anybody, understand what's happening, even make some fixes on your own, or at least define what the fixes should be. And that, I don't think we're in that world anymore.
No, let's be honest. Right? Casey, you might freak out if I invited you to my portal.
I probably would.
Because you would be like, where are contacts? Where are deals? Because mine don't say contacts. Mine don't say deal, right? So like, not only is there this custom object conversation, but there's the renaming of the default objects plus custom objects that you just have to be real HubSpot flexible. That's the only way that I can think about how to say that.
George, my husband's ears are ringing right now. He's like, I'm constantly telling Casey she needs to be more flexible.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't mean like blank slate, right? That's where it's like George said, it just shifts from solutions to questions, right? Because you can come up, there's a very standardized set of questions to ask as you walk through a portal. And that's why data model happens to be like, if that concept is new to them, or there's no documentation, or it happens to be a very safe space to go into, like, let's talk about the data model, right? And walking people through that first solves for a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
And like the Dean in the chat, getting curious here, right? You have to get curious before you can consult so that you can help them create the thing that they're trying to get to.
And I have
Yes.
one client right now that we are building like a much more complex data model for than I've ever worked in. And that is the client that is making me more comfortable in custom objects and things. I'm seeing them all relate. I'm running into some issues, but that's part of like, for me at least, how my brain works is like I need to go through those issues and know how to solve them for me to feel more comfortable.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
So can I talk to that for a second, even though I know we're about out of time? Here's where you can fix that too. Realizing that you don't have to know how to solve everything before you start the conversation, because you can figure out how to solve it along the way, or you're part of a community that knows how to solve it already. You just need to tap into the right hub hero. Whoops, wrong show. To actually be able to do the thing that you need to do for the, well, let me say, humans that you're trying to help. All right, I'm done here.
No, you're so right. And yeah, you're right. That's all.
Indeed. The object renaming is going to be a fun one. Because I'm guessing she would find humans instead of contacts.
Yep.
George?
Yep.
I know George, so I wouldn't have been that surprised by that one, but
I've already evolved a little bit from that.
Opportunities, not deals.
Yep. Yeah. I've already evolved a little bit in terms of like, I was trying to establish which AI tools I'm working with in relationship to projects getting done. And I was like, oh man, humans, not going to work. It's going to be a misnomer. So in that portal, I renamed to friends. Was what I could think of there. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's man, data model skills are everything right now. Because AI, if you want AI's help, it needs to understand the data model more than most anything else in the portal, because that puts everything in context for AI.
Yeah.
And instead of companies, I'm going with accounts. There's so many different ways you can slice that object. Organizations doesn't always make sense. I know the companies doesn't always make sense, but like entity, finding something super general there. Account seems like an easy one, because we don't want to change the game for everybody that's ever been using CRMs anywhere, right? And just come up with our names. So if in a lot of other systems, even in the way that we execute account-based marketing, account-based sales, right? People are using the company object to support those activities. Target accounts in HubSpot, right? You have to rethink everything. So that at the end of the day, it's usability of the platform and what is it supposed to be doing for your business and the people using it, so that they can serve the customers that give you the money.
Yep.
So that your business can grow and survive. That's where we will wrap for today. Remember, folks, you probably already own the solution you're looking for in HubSpot. Sometimes you just need to wake up to it. Join us tomorrow morning as we continue exploring what's new in HubSpot. Drop your biggest takeaway in the comments and let us know what capabilities you want to wake up to next. Until then, I'm Chris Carolan.
I'm Casey Hawkins.
And I'm George B. Thomas.
And this has been Wake Up Customer Platform. Now go build something amazing. Have a great day.
Customer platform, it's time to start the day. Discover all the value you already own. Don't let solutions slip away. Wake up, customer platform. The tools are at your hand. No need to sleep on capabilities that can help your business stand. The answer's right before your eyes. You just need to realize. Wake up, customer platform, and watch your business rise. Wake up.